Morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and CoffeeStream number 246. And today is Wednesday, which means it's a Wednesdays with Skep day. And Skep is here, but he had to run away from the keyboard for just a second, so he will be back in a moment. Do not fear, Skep is here. Let's take this time to say hello to everybody in chat. Mr. Monopoly says, what is the topic, Blind Press and Skep Talk? Well, we've got lots of things to talk about. The Israel election, Twitch being ridiculous, and Facebook generating pages for ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which is always awesome. Hello, Ghost Dog. Good morning and afternoon to you. Grillin' Pirate Pete, good afternoon. Hello to RVA. Glad to have you here. Maddie, good morning. I hope you're feeling all right. She says, does anyone have a healthy lower back or hip combo? Because I need one. Same here, Maddie. Same here. I need one too. I feel you. So, yeah, we've got quite a few things to talk about today. It's going to be a good stream as usual. I had a bit of a coffee accident before the stream, but it's okay. It's not too big of a deal. I accidentally spilled my coffee because I think I over poured. That's what happened. It was a combination of having it too full and then my hand kind of did a shaky thing and it dripped all over me. Yeah. It was really annoying, but it's all good now. Everything is fine. My favorite childhood memory is when my knees didn't hurt all the time. Oh. Good morning, Seamus. Glad to have you here. I have done that. Yeah, it sucks. Also, guys, a little bit of housekeeping. The poll is over, and it looks like a gaming stream with subscribers is what has been voted for. So if you guys have a PlayStation 4 and Mortal Kombat 11, that's what we're going to be playing next weekend. Keep an eye on Twitter for the day and the time. I have to figure out when Logan is going to be with either with my mom or asleep because A, it's Mortal Kombat. I don't want him seeing it. And B, because I wear headphones, I can't play while he's awake. That's just an irresponsible thing to do. So keep an eye on Twitter for the time and day. I want to find a good time where I'm not going to run over too many people, and where I'm not going to run into conflict. I know that's hard, but I'm still going to try and find a time. So yeah, that's what and it's going to be for the fundraiser. So it's all I'm going to have in the description of that stream is the link to the GoFundMe. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a fun stream, and it's just going to be a lot of good times. So.
Hey, I'm back.
Skep Talk is here.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here on this sunny and cool Texas morning. I think fall is actually going to come to Texas.
See,
about darn time, because in 3 days it's going to be fall.
It's keeps
time for the equinox.
It keeps like getting cold and dreary, and then it bounces back, which is a typical Canadian September.
What are falls like up in Canadian.
So where I am, it's September is very wonky. Um, it
It's very what?
wonky.
Okay. Sorry
It
about that.
will be one day it will be, cold and dreary, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, like 10, 15 Celsius. And then the next day it'll go back up to, you know, 26 to 30 degrees Celsius with, bright sunny skies and, and so September is very, very odd. Then October, things turn very colorful very quickly. The leaves go very quick. They fall very fast.
Because it's cold very fast.
Yeah,
Right?
days get very chilly, but are usually in October pretty clear.
Uh-huh.
So we get very sunny, very cool days. It's just, like I said, 10, 15 degrees in the daytime, probably about 5 degrees at night, like Celsius. And then November, it usually snows either on or the day after Halloween for the first time. There have been times where there's been snow before Halloween.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I almost would expect it up there. Of course.
And yeah, by November there's usually snow. If there isn't snow by the middle of November, everyone's like, "Wow, we're lucky."
You have white Christmases every year, I'm sure.
Actually, no. We've had quite a few green Christmases lately. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's been very strange.
So global warming is actually going to work out fairly well for you.
Well, it's weird because lately November and December have been warm, and then January and February have been brutal.
Really?
Just brutal.
Like cold brutal or
Yeah,
snow brutal?
cold brutal. Usually it's kind of a mixture of both. One month we'll usually get more snow.
Mm-hmm.
The other month will usually be freezing cold. Or we'll get, a week of snow and then a week of, here, have some ice crust on top of the snow before you can shovel all of it away. Because it's, minus 30 degrees outside now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like winter at all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can. There's a real downside to it. It's just brutally cold up there. I've spent enough time in the northern United States, in Washington State, Spokane, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, to and Boston, to know it's just freaking cold up there.
Yeah.
And that would be, the southernmost parts of Canada. That would be like the temperate part of Canada.
Oh yeah, when I was a toddler, my mother and I lived in Ottawa, and we used to visit quite often in the wintertime for Christmas, and I would go up for March break.
Mm-hmm.
And Ottawa is supremely cold, and that's not even like as north, anywhere close to as north as you can go. It's and it gets way more snow, and I remember when I was a toddler, there was my mom talks about a 2-week cold snap of minus 40.
2 week cold snap of minus 40.
Yeah, it was minus 40 for 2 weeks.
Think about that. I mean, that just does things to houses, to sewers, to gas pipes. To, oh man,
I had family that went through the 1998 ice storm in Quebec.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember people talking about that.
We almost got stuck in it because we were visiting my grandmother for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was watching the forecast and she's like, we need to go home. Like
Yeah.
now. Because we were driving, right? She's like, we need to get out of here before this starts. And we left, I think, the day, like a few hours before it hit.
Wow.
We got home, and it by the time we got home it had started, because it's about a 6 or 7 hour drive from Montreal to where we are.
I mean, that kind of stuff changes the way things, changes your life.
Yep.
That alters everything. So anyway, so come on, everybody, let's go listen to Blind Press and Skep talk about the weather. But
The weather.
anyway, I just wanted to make the point that it's so nice in Texas when we finally get a break from the seemingly unrelenting heat, because the the summers really are frickin' hot, and by the time August is over, you think finally we're done with it,
Irate.
and September is just like, now hold my beer, we're not done with shit, Jack. And the first 2 weeks of September are like a furnace usually, and then it starts, you know, to relent a little bit, and it just feels so nice out there today.
Hi, Irate.
Ray Prostate is here. Hey, buddy, how you doing? And good to see our Star Trek streaming compadre, our our fellow Voyager into the realms of Star Trek trivia. We were just talking about that. Let's see. I don't know if you wanted to just jump into this, but there's a very large thing happening in the world right now that I don't know if people are really aware with it. It has to do with the elections in Israel. Did you want to get in?
Yeah,
That, or?
so I was gonna actually wait and talk about this with you today because I've seen a whole bunch of stuff about the elections in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm not very familiar with the workings of all that good stuff, and I didn't want to misspeak
Well,
on it.
if
So, before we get into the articles I've got about Twitch and Facebook, let's
go international for a minute
let's
and
go
talk
international for a minute and talk
talk.
about this. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Um, Essentially, uh, you have a parliamentary system of government in Israel, and with the prime minister, and they call their parliament the Knesset, Knesset, I think is the way it's spelled,
Okay.
and they have they're almost like Italy. They have a zillion parties. I mean, when four Israelis get together, you have a new political party. So, but they also have a couple of dominant political parties, and I'll get to them in just a second. The prime minister, the longest serving prime minister in history, I think, is Netanyahu, and he's the guy who is serving right now. And they're having elections. It looks like his party, the Likud party, is not going to get a majority. Not only that, it looks like it will not be able to form a government with him at the top. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. Basically, he is seen as too militaristic and somewhat overbearing, and a lot of Israelis just think, it's time for a change.
Yeah.
Uh, and they don't. It's not necessarily that so many of them um, don't like his policies. Interestingly enough, and the Benny Gantz, who is the his chief opposition, he's the head of the. I don't want to get this wrong. Benny Gantz is the head of a coalition party called the Blue and White. The It's called Kol Lavan party, and uh, he was actually the head of a political party. This is what happens in Israel, called Israel Resilience.
Okay.
That party allied itself with a center right party called Telem and a centrist party called Yesh Atid. And those three parties formed a new party called Blue and White, the colors of the Israeli national flag,
Okay.
with Benny Gantz as the uh, nominal head of that party. And his platform includes introducing stuff like term limits for prime ministers. He's really against the very lengthy serving of a single prime minister like Netanyahu and kind of the cult of personality that has grown up around Netanyahu. And I'll talk a little bit about more about that in just a second. Um, he's it also barring indicted politicians from serving in the Knesset. Okay,
Hmm.
Netanyahu is under indictment. He's under indictment for uh, misuse, I believe, of campaign funds.
Okay.
It's mostly a political indictment, I believe, but I actually think he's guilty. I think he actually violated campaign law. I think most people agree with that, and he probably will at least be fined and receive some sort of punishment after he finishes serving. And it's too bad because he has been a tremendous asset, a tremendous hero to that country, in my personal opinion. Uh, he's one of the he's in the pantheon of heroes and of people serving in Israel. And but he did some things that were wrong. He really did some things that were wrong. Uh, he,
Right.
he had that hubris that thought he was above all that. He's kind of like Trump in that way. He's a little bit like Trump, and I think that's why they get on so well together. He also believes Benny Gantz also believes in amending the um, the nation state law to include uh, Israeli minorities, limiting the power of the uh, chief rabbinate in Israel over marriages. Okay,
Okay.
uh, investing in early education, expanding healthcare, and re-entering negotiations with the Palestinian Authority over a peace agreement. Now, what all that means is he's going to make Israel a much more secular state.
Okay.
Okay, so marriages in Israel are going to become a more of a uh, contract, a a civil contract, and less of a blessed. Uh,
A
right now they
religious.
are strictly a religious. Uh, they're religious first, contract second,
Right.
and
Okay.
he wants them to have a chiefly contractual nature, and then with just kind of a blessing as kind of the salad dressing on the salad. And then he also wants to have Israeli minorities who have some restrictions on how they can participate in government. He wants those gone, which is probably a good idea. I hate to say it, but it is a good idea. Um, and um, all in all, I think this is a win win election for Israel. And here's why. Gantz is a good guy. He's a general in the army, for one thing.
Okay.
He is a kick ass defender of Israel. He's a hero. He's a war hero. He's the I believe he's the grandson of a Holocaust survivor no, his mother was a Holocaust survivor. That's right.
Oh,
She
okay.
was from Hungarian. Uh, uh, she was a Romanian Holocaust survivor, and he graduated from the uh, IDF Command and Headquarters College, which is like their National War College. He's got like a master's degree in political science, and also has like national and a master's degree in national resources management, which is sort of like an MBA, but in uh, um, government administration.
Right.
We almost don't have that type of a degree in the United States. You have to have a little country that needs a lot of government administrators to have that kind of a degree.
So he's very, very like he's a physically fit guy. He's an
Yes,
educated guy.
he
He
was a year ago. He was out with his assault rifle, drilling with the troops, with the paratroops, jumping out of airplanes with the troops in the field.
wow.
Yes,
And then he
he.
switched to politics.
Well, no, I mean he's still a general. He walks the walk. You can do both
Hmm.
in Israel. So I mean he really is.
How
You know,
does one be a prime minister and a general though?
well, basically he's like a reserve general. So
Ah,
he would go
gotcha. Okay.
inactive. Basically, he's not serving on active duty, but
Okay.
he activates and drills so that he stays ready, and then he goes inactive again.
I understand.
But yeah, he's. I'm trying to read down when he. I think he was. I think he was active until early 2018. Anyway, yeah, he's just he's a fascinating guy, uh, very solid guy. Would make an excellent leader of Israel. The thing you got the only thing that he has to watch is to prevent Israel from sliding down a slippery slope into becoming um, a war torn a site for civil war between Arabs and Jews, to
Mm,
where there's so many Arabs living there, and they're just tearing up Israeli neighborhoods, and the IDF is doing nothing about them because they want to give them a chance,
yeah.
and doing basically what Sweden does. I don't think he's that guy. I don't. I think if any of that tries to surface, I think he'll crush them.
Yeah.
He's not a leftist, and it was interesting when I first read. I first heard about this guy in the New York Times, and they called him a centrist, and I
Okay.
went, "Oh, great! That means he's a lefty." Because New York Times, right?
Right.
And then I went in, and no, he actually is center. He maybe even center right.
Oh.
So he's really to the right hand side of the spectrum, and as long as they stay over there and preserve the idea of Israel is a home for Jews. Jews need a home. Jews need a home in the world. I mean,
Mm,
I don't care what you say. A lot of people don't understand this, but uh, Jews are hated by so many people, and that hate goes so deep and is so profound that as long as that remains, as long as that hate is that way, Jews need a place to where they can be guaranteed a place to go and you know uh, if you can get here, you can come here and you can work and have a life.
mm-hmm.
And that's all that Israel really guarantees them. Say, you share that common religion with us and that common heritage. You can come here and work and have a life. And uh, a lot of people resent that. A lot of people hate that. They hate them for being insular or whatever. if you understand their history, you'll understand why that's really truly necessary. And to begrudge them this tiny sliver of land in the Middle East, which is 99 point, I think it's 99.2% controlled by Arabs, and
Yeah.
0.8%, 0.8% controlled by Israel. Come on, man, it's less than 1%. Can't you spare that much? And they say no, they must be wiped out. It says so in our book. So I say bullshit. They deserve a chance to live. And there you go. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So the returns are in, and it is absolutely even Steven.
Hmm.
It's interesting the way it's being reported, because the ABC, NBC, CBS are saying too close to call, can't tell who's ahead, and there's no clear uh, leader. It's absolutely tied, just
Right.
absolutely deadlocked.
Wow.
But Al Jazeera says it's clear that Benny Gantz is one.
How is that clear?
It's just it just is. It just is.
Oh,
Don't ask questions.
okay.
Don't ask questions. Get in your burqa.
I
Okay.
all right then.
Alrighty then. And then suddenly MSNBC says the same thing. It says, yes, exit polling. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Exit polling.
Sure.
That ought to do it. Yeah, they'll go for that. Exit polling. That's the ticket.
That that's
Exit polling. Right.
great.
Right. You know. So anyway, so except for Al Jazeera and MSNBC, and if you doubt me, go to YouTube and go to Israel and search on Israeli elections 2019. Go through the headlines, and you'll see NBC, CBS, ABC, too close to call, too close to call, too close to call. You'll get to Al Jazeera and says exit polls indicate that Benny Gantz wins, and MSNBC says the same thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So just exactly what you would expect. Um, the other thing is that
That's wow.
um, the other thing is there's another good thing. I never thought I would say this, but if Gantz gets in and he reopens negotiations with the Palestinian Authority, but he takes a tough stance,
Yeah.
he cuts their legs out from under him. See, here, that's the thing that Netanyahu's tired. He's tired of just being fucked with, and
Mm.
and they have just screwed with him and screwed with him and screwed with him, and he's just tired. He's tired of the fuckery,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. So he says, "No, I'm not going to talk with them anymore. It's a waste of time," and it is a waste of time. And truthfully, Gantz knows this. He's a smart guy. And he's the chief of the general staff, or was the chief of the general staff of the army. He's a smart guy. He knows this.
Yeah.
So he's going to uh, uh, go in and say, "Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. I won't give you the 67 lines, but I will make you a deal, and it's a deal that you can live with." And they'll say no, and he'll say, "Fine, fuck you. I'm going to start annexing the West Bank, and you can just deal with that. See what you like then.
Yep.
You had a chance, and I documented it. You've had chance after chance after chance after chance. You've now had 30 years of chances. 30 years, you've said no, 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 no. You've demanded that we give up and kill ourselves. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You're done." And it's time for that to happen. So I don't care if Netanyahu does it, although he deserves, frankly, he's put up with enough shit. He deserves to be the one who does it. Or I don't care if he does it or if Gantz does it, but someone needs to do it. And
Either
someone's
one.
going
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. It's kind of like when Reagan put up with the Soviet Union manfully for 8 years, and he deserved to be in office for the fall of the Soviet Union, but he wasn't.
No.
Happened a year and a half after he was out of office, so it happened on George H.W. Bush's office. That's the way it goes. I think that may happen here, and I hope it does, and I hope it causes a permanent solution. Frankly, I'll tell you this: I wouldn't mind seeing. This is a really, and even the Israelis don't want this.
Yeah.
But for my part, I wouldn't mind seeing the expulsion of of the um, the Arabs who want to go with Hamas. If you opt for Hamas, I say you're expelled from the West Bank back into Gaza.
Right.
I transport you right back into Gaza. You don't have a home in the West Bank anymore. Fuck off.
I agree.
And let's if you're going to live in the West Bank, you're going to live there peacefully. Yeah, there's not going to be any more stabbings. There's not going to be any more murder. There's not going to be any more bombs. There's not going to be more rockets. There's not going to be any more of that bullshit. People are going to live and work in peace. We're going to have a world of peace. If you choose to be poor, if you choose to be a bunch of failures in Fakistan, fine. Go be in Fakistan. Go worship your corrupt gods in Hamas, until you finally take them apart, until you finally get sick of them and pull them down, the false idols they are. Sorry, I lose my mind a little bit sometimes on this. I'm just so sick of those people. They literally oppress themselves and then blame Israel. That's the thing, and then you can find countries that say, "Well, yeah, it is Israel."
Yes, the
Fuck you.
60-year-old country, one of the youngest countries on the fucking planet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally their fault.
Totally.
They've totally been established long enough to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the drill. We should find out. So anyway, in summary, to sum up, we should find out the final results to the election late this afternoon, early this evening, Western time, and we'll know for a fact what will probably happen is there will be movement among the parties to form a coalition government, and I think here's my fearless prediction, and this is really weird. I think Blue and White and Likud is Netanyahu's party. I think they will form a coalition, and here is the bargain that they will make. Gantz will head that coalition party, and the bargain will be Netanyahu steps down from as head of Likud and out of the party and out of politics, retires.
Yeah.
In return for not being prosecuted for anything. That's just a bargain sitting there waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody gets something. Netanyahu's tired. He's
yes.
It's time.
And well, he's been
Gantz is ready to go. He's a good man.
How long has Netanyahu been prime minister of Israel for now?
About 3,000 years. Yeah,
it's been a while.
Been a long time. It's been a really long time. So, we'll have to see what happens. And he's been prime minister for so long. It's starting to be bad for him.
Yeah.
In fact, it has been bad for him, and it's starting to be bad for Israel, in my opinion. As much as I love the guy, and there is no bigger fan of Netanyahu than me. But for his own good, it's time to throw the ring of power in the fire.
Yeah. Cast it into the fire.
The ring is mine.
Isildur!
There, the slopes of Mount Doom. Had a chance to end evil.
So, speaking of things that will make us angry,
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Facebook still auto-generating Islamic State and Al-Qaeda pages.
Are you kidding me? I saw that. I haven't had a chance to investigate that. What is up with that?
Yeah, Pinkala sent me this this morning. This is from this morning. Last updated this morning. So it says Washington, in the face of criticism that Facebook is not doing enough to combat extremist messaging, the company likes to say that its automated systems remove the vast majority of prohibited content, glorifying the Islamic State group and Al-Qaeda before it's reported. But a whistleblower's complaint shows that Facebook itself has inadvertently provided the two extremist groups with a networking recruitment tool by producing dozens of pages in their names. Oh, that's a wow.
Wow, the filing obtained by the AP identifies almost 200 auto-generated pages, some for business, other for schools, other kind, that directly reference the Islamic State group and dozens more representing Al-Qaeda and other known groups, according to the report. One page listed as political ideology is titled "I Love Islamic State" and features an ISIS logo inside the outlines of Facebook's famous thumbs up icon. I must have that icon. Islam is indeed a political ideology. Anyone who denies this is generally ignorant. All right. Wow. One user page, it said, was made for Muhammad Atta, the ringleader of the 9/11 attacks. His employment was listed as Al Qaeda, while his education was University Master bin Laden and School Terrorist Afghanistan.
Jesus
User
Christ.
pages are different from group pages in that they must be created by a human, but the creation of user pages leads to the auto creation of the groups. The company's auto-generated group pages are ideally built for business networking. They scrape users' employment information to create groups for networking. So this is a like a bot function that goes through and scrapes information, cobbles them into a page. All this occurs, of course, while Facebook actively nukes personal accounts of American conservatives for being dangerous. Not to worry, though, Facebook says it's monitoring the terrorists, too.
Really? You're allowing people to post a page that says their university was Master bin Laden?
Are you fucking kidding me?
But you're monitoring the terrorists, right?
Yeah, yeah. Why am I? I'm not comforted. That's wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's just,
Oh, and Grillin' Pirate Pete, we weren't referencing putting a Jew in the fire. We were referencing a Jew putting the ring of power in the fire. It was a Lord of the Rings reference.
good Lord.
So yeah, well done, Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. Good
Just-
to know they're protecting us.
Just supremely well done.
Good Lord.
That's just I'm freaking speechless about that.
Wow. Yeah, this is being reported by lots of people who got picked up by the Associated Press. I mean, this is not like a Laura Loomer fantasy. This is for real. This really happened.
Mm.
I'll be darned.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, even Al Arabiya is kind of upset about it. All right.
So I'm trying to find the headline for my next one. I've got 2 articles about Twitch because
Now, what is
Twitch
this
is
Twitch?
just
Twitch
being
is this
amazing.
gaming server thing, right?
Twitch is another streaming platform.
Okay.
You can game. A lot of people game on Twitch, like stream their gaming stuff on Twitch, but a lot of people also do the real life streaming.
Yeah, I tease about it. I actually
Yeah,
have an
yeah, yeah,
account
yeah,
on. I
yeah,
have
yeah,
an
yeah.
account on Twitch. I know
That stuff. That guy.
Yeah.
So Twitch has suspended. We're going to read 2 articles about them suspending somebody. Actually, no, we're not, because this guy's not. This website's completely inaccessible.
Throw it to me. I'll read it.
All right, let me throw it to you here. Where is it in my messages?
Throw it inside.
There it is.
You throw it in Discord or throw it in inside chat.
I'm gonna throw it into Discord.
Okay.
Okay, copied and pasted and sent.
I see it.
That's another
All right.
one Pink Hollow
Twitch
found.
streamer carjacked at gunpoint gets banned indefinitely.
Yeah.
Streaming server Twitch has banned Bees on My Head TV from its platform for the foreseeable future after he was carjacked and shot at during a live broadcast. While in real life, broadcasting is a popular category on streaming websites such as Twitch and YouTube, sometimes it also brings the harsh reminder that life stops for no one and unexpected and unpredictable things can happen. IRL streamer Bees on My Head TV found this out the hard way during his live stream on September 14th after he was suddenly shot at and carjacked. Twitch suspended his account for the behavior caught on camera and has since informed the streamer that he won't be getting it back anytime soon. Twitch banned the IRL streamer on September 16th. Bees on My Head TV tweeted out a screenshot of an email he'd received from Twitch after his account was banned. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. The email in question states that the platform had taken the decision to suspend the user and issue a community guideline strike against him to, quote, protect his privacy, end quote, due to an, end quote, on screen emergency, end quote. Fans flooded his replies. I know. Fans flooded his replies with comments, unhappy that the streamer had been banned for the foreseeable future for a situation that wasn't really his fault.
Yeah, how about you just take the stream down?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with this. What the actual fuck? One user responded, try showing tits next time. I hear you just come back to Twitch a day later. Another person argued against the streamer's outrage and said that Twitch made a logical decision in banning him as it would forcefully remove the clip from its website. While it does suck that you got banned, Twitch did make the logical decision, the user commented. They don't want a VOD going around on their site showing some maniac firing a gun off. I don't see the logic to that. So
yeah, I don't either.
surely they could. That I think that's a guy who is thinking it in an altered state. Surely they could have accomplished this without the strike. A fan replied, questioning why the platform would suspend the IRL streamer instead of simply removing the video, which is what we all think, or right?
Right.
Bees on My Head TV might be able to return to Twitch if he contests his ban with the streaming service, as it's been known to lift indefinite suspensions in the past. Dexerto will update the article. Okay. And let me just say, just real quick about this article. Reading this article was like skiing a crazy slalom course. It was just inaccessible. I mean, I'm a sighted person, and I almost couldn't read the motherfucker.
Oh wow!
Holy shit! I'm good at this stuff. I'm top notch, and I had to figure out what was copy and what was bullshit and what was oh Jesus, dudes, it's called editing. Get into it. Anyway, so there, yeah, this was not only not accessible. This was like booby trapped.
Maddie says that's also evidence the police can use. Yep. In the carjacking case, yep, that's video evidence.
Maddie, as a fellow journalist, I'm gonna send this link your way just so you can see how not to do journalism. God Almighty, this is just nastiness. And Maddie enjoys a good laugh as much as anybody.
So now we're gonna go to the other Twitch article that Maddie thought we were talking about before. This is so this one is Twitch suspended streamer Cuoco for her sexually suggestive cosplay. Now, this one, the reason I want to cover this one is because Twitch lets, there have been freaking porn channels on Twitch. There's masturbation on Twitch. There's women painting their boobs on Twitch. But somebody cosplays like Chung-Li and they get taken off. And Chung-Li is from Chung-Li is a character from please don't hate on me if I fuck this up, guys. I think it's Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure it's Street Fighter. Animal abuse on Twitch. Yep, Jenny, you're absolutely right. Animal abuse is on Twitch, but wearing a Chung-Li costume is apparently bad. I am correct. Okay, good. Yay. So it starts with the story starts with her tweet. So it says, I just got banned again for wearing a Chung-Li cosplay. I am fully covered. I don't understand. How is this sexually suggestive content? So she did say banned again. So I guess that means she's been banned before. I wonder what for. To be fair, Chung-Li's costume isn't exactly all covering. She angled the camera a certain way, also adjusted the front flap on camera, and sat cross-legged. That's all she did? That's not... But what's sexually suggestive about that, though? I'm confused. I mean, to me, sexually suggestive is, I don't know. That seems a little bit too far to me. That seems a little bit too narrow-minded. I don't know, unless she doesn't age restrict her streams. So it says Quoco also tweeted, I've reached out to @Twitch support to understand the cause of my @Twitch ban. I haven't received any clarifications yet. I don't believe my ban was justified as I don't believe there was any sexual intent or content. It's reading the tweet again. Twitter user Christy in Japan responded to Quoco's tweet saying, here's the clip that's not going viral. Purposely angling the camera at your crotch is sexually suggestive behavior. Are there worse things happening that should be banned? Absolutely, but being dishonest for sympathy is for the birds. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, that's funny.
Well played.
That is funny. Yeah, in the terms of their terms of service, that I guess that clarifies as I guess that if it's under their, yeah, and Maddie's got a good point. If you've been banned before for the same crap, maybe you shouldn't do the same crap again. Yeah, that's a very good point. Oh, hello, Ryder, TM Ryder.
Maddie is one of my common sense heroes.
Yes. She's got good common sense.
She does have good common sense.
Maybe there was wrong think involved.
I like the way you think, Mr. Goatman. Oh, I didn't
So let's see here. I'm going to go grab another. I've got a couple of stories from Pinkalo, so I'll just grab a couple. That'll carry us through till 1:30, I think. Because I think the 90 minutes is a good timeline.
I wanted to make a couple of comments about that while you're doing that.
Sure.
I really like the new length of the stream because when you had it cut down to an hour, that felt truncated.
Yeah.
I felt like everybody, I felt like you and the audience both wanted to go on longer.
Right.
This wasn't feasible, obviously your situation. And I think the audience felt frustrated. And, for my part, I'm a yacker. I can talk for 2 hours. God, it's not a strain. But I think that an hour and a half is just perfect for you and perfect for this type of day stream. It's a perfect length. It ends right when it's supposed to. It ends right when people have, had enough and are ready to shift over to something else. 90 minutes is just right.
Yeah.
It's 60 minutes isn't enough.
2 hours is too
a stretch.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah. And it may not be 2 hours may not be a stretch for me, but I think it is for a lot of other people. And I freely admit that I'm way too in love with the sound of my own voice.
Well, the thing with me was that I was trying to balance getting chores done with having some time to relax before Alex get. Yeah. So, now that I'm doing, I try and get my chores done in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I do my stream. And then in the afternoon, now I'm like, okay, now it's my turn for the PlayStation.
Right, exactly. So,
and then I go get Alex. So it's,
it's not a bad life.
So you want to hear about how Trudeau's trying to buy the vote?
Oh, of course. What's the left ever do?
Yeah, it's
Am I muted?
no.
Okay,
I'm
just making
I'm
sure.
trying to get this stupid link to open. And it's not opening. Can I send it to you?
Yeah, send it here. Send it on Discord.
All right. Yeah, I was I was trying to press the link and it was just talking in my ear over and over again but not actually opening. It was very aggravating.
I understand. No, no problem. Send it on over.
This one's from the CBC.
The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation or Company
Corporation, you're right.
or cabal.
Cabal. The Canadian Broadcasting Cabal.
All right, let's see. Okay. Please know that cookies are required to operate and enhance our services as well as for advertising purposes. We value your privacy. If you're not comfortable with us using this information to control your lives, please review your settings before continuing your visit.
Does please review your settings mean please review your thoughts?
Exactly.
Your thought patterns?
Exactly. No
Please
kidding.
review your thought patterns and adjust accordingly, and then click the accept button.
Now, for blinds edification, I'm going to describe the picture that starts this article. It's a picture of Trudeau in he's wearing a shirt and a tie with the sleeves rolled up in blue jeans.
Of
He's
course.
on the floor with a bunch of what appear to be 3-year-olds, maybe 4-year-olds, uh, and a couple of parents in the background, but he's surrounded by the 3-year-olds. All are male, and they're looking at him kind of warily, and he's looking at them creepily, like he's either going to molest them or eat them. Not in a good way. It's like, you know, there's nothing good about this picture. I don't
Oh
know who took
my.
this picture and thought it was a good idea, but this is just like goes in the Creepers Hall of Fame. The Liberal leader Justin Trudeau makes a campaign stop at a daycare in St. John's, NL. NL must be in Canada someplace.
Newfoundland.
Okay. Trudeau sought to one up his conservative rivals this morning by molesting children and promising new parents won't pay any taxes at all on maternity and parental leave benefits. Other people will pay those benefits, but not them. We all realize that, right? That the tax money comes from other people, right? Maybe not them, but other people.
Oh yeah.
Did he tell them that, or did he just say no? They won't pay anything.
Well, there's a video of him in the House of Commons saying tax benefits don't help low income or low class Canadians because lower class and low income Canadians don't pay taxes.
Jesus, what an elitist piece of shit. Anyway, the parties vying for power in this election are scrambling to offer more perks to families with children as the affordability of everyday life has become a central theme of the federal campaign. This courtship of young families is motivated in part by the outside influence suburban dwellers will play in this election. The Liberal and Conservative parties have both targeted the Greater Toronto Area and suburban Vancouver areas that went solidly Tory in 2011, only to move en masse to the Liberal column in 2015 as places to pick up seats in the road to majority government.
Yeah.
Beyond self interest, the parties are looking to tackle the liquidity crunch that many younger families are facing in an era when work is precarious and buying a home is a stretch. Since the Great Recession of 2008 and 9, Canadian households have become substantially more indebted. According to Statistics Canada, The national household debt to disposable income ratio is now 175%, fully 70 points more than our neighbors to the south. The national median mortgage debt, measured in 2016 dollars, has risen from $95,400 in 1999 to $190,000 in 2016.
Yeah.
The numbers are substantially higher in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area,
Yes.
and in BC, British Columbia,
Yeah.
with a greater percentage of income directed at large mortgage liabilities. The party's no tax breaks and or a benefits boost will be welcomed by younger parents and struggling families. And what is on offer from each party on this front could become a serious ballot box motivator. Liberals are promising young voters an improved first-time home buyer benefit and tax-free parental leave. The Tories are promising a universal tax cut and tax credits for kids enrolled in sports and the arts. The NDP is touting more public housing and a national child care program. God, they're all doing it. The Greens want everyone to have a guaranteed livable income and access to child care.
Yep.
Print money.
Yep, pretty
I
much.
love the Greens. I love the Greens.
I agree more with the Conservatives' plan. Because what the Pincalo read me the platform, the actual campaign, because the Liberals rolled out their idea for tax, like child tax help after the election.
Yeah.
They want to increase tax benefits for children under the age of 1.
Yeah.
They want specifically to give 15 weeks to adoptive parents. So 15 weeks leave to adoptive parents.
15 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. And they also want to
do you know what that does to an employer?
Yeah, that's almost 5 months. That's 4 months off.
Yeah, it's a third of a year.
They also want to provide. So when you go on maternity or paternity leave, because they do have that now in Canada, the father can.
They have paternity leave?
Yes. So.
Fuck.
Yeah, so the father can. I have known. My uncle and aunt did this, actually. My aunt stayed home first for 8 months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then my uncle took 4 or 5 months. They took, between the two of them, almost 18 months leave for their one son.
Good Lord.
And so when you do that, you get benefits, which are 60% of your normal salary.
Do you have to pay tax on those benefits?
You did, but if Trudeau is reelected, that will now no longer be a thing. He wants that to be tax-free.
Okay.
So that's what his whole plan that he released was yesterday. That's his vote by.
My God. That's you know.
But
Lord.
The Conservatives' plan to provide tax benefits or tax breaks for like sports-aged kids, because that's good, and he doesn't. I don't think Andrew Scheer wants to take away the universal child credit or the child tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said he wouldn't. He said he wouldn't touch that, which I hope he remains, because that does help. That
there's an interesting thing going on with the Green Party having promised a guaranteed income for all Canadians sometime by mid-century.
Yeah.
They've also promised to scrap the first-time home buyer tax credit, funnel more money into national housing strategy to build more affordable units. And actually, something like that is happening in San Francisco right now. Have you heard about pod people?
I have.
Okay, I
People
have,
buying
have
storage pods or something?
no.
No?
No, these are. Have you ever had someone? You need okay. I'm just going to have to describe them to you.
I was
This,
going to say, if I look up pod people, I'm going to get some weird
right?
shit.
Yeah, you're going to get some weird shit. But pod people in San Francisco, the you buy a pod. Basically, what you're buying is a bunk.
Oh,
You
God.
have you live in a bunk, and you buy a bunk basically, I guess, for like $15,000, and that's your bunk. Okay, you own that bunk and the space below it, and you can put like two suitcases worth of stuff. And so it's for a person who doesn't have they don't have a significant other, they don't have pets, they are they just have a few clothes that they wear, and it's just all about them. Okay, just they work, they come home, and for like maybe 20 people there will be two bathrooms, okay, and two showers, and
Wow.
you all are responsible for cleaning it up. So you all live together in kind of this communal thing, and you have to have agreements. And it's just random who gets thrown together. It is, from what I can tell, it is as close to literal hell as what I can imagine. And this lady was talking about selling these units, and they're selling like hotcakes, evidently. And
That's insane. Why would you want to live like that?
well, Pete, because you get to live in San Francisco, you get a San Francisco address.
So?
So there you go.
Yay, I get an address in a shithole.
That's it.
That's
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly. You get a bunk. You get a bunk,
It
basically.
reminds me of Blood of Heroes.
But at any rate, somebody took a picture of one of these, uh, of one of these rooms of these bunk beds, and they have a very distinctive rectangular uh, look to them.
Right.
The bunk spaces, and they're almost identical to the way that the bunks were built at Auschwitz. And
Oh,
they put
God.
them side by side with the Auschwitz picture, and they're stunningly similar.
That's terrifying.
Oh my God. When I saw them side by side, I went, oh shit, that is just. There are similarities that you absolutely cannot deny. And it's pathetic, it's hideous, it's horrifying, uh, and that's what people have come down to. So rather than that, though, what I was getting to with the Green Party, because I think they're on to something interesting, and Andrew Yang has kind of scuffed the surface of it with his idea for national income, because I think there is going to be a need to provide large groups of people who are going to be unemployable. Okay, they're going to be unemployable. Our unemployment rate in 20 years, our unemployment rate is going to be like 30 or 40%.
Oh, God,
Watch and
yeah.
see.
It's going
Watch
to
and
be
see.
terrible.
It's going to be terrible. Those people are not going to be able to earn money. So you're either going to have a huge crime rate, which is going to be de facto redistribution in almost a kind of uh, you know uh, Lord of the Flies kind of existence,
Yeah.
or you can have the government provide necessities to people. Now, the way you're going to have to do this, you can't be in the form of money,
No.
because money is fungible. And as soon as people get the money, it will either be stolen from them, or it will be conned from them, or
Or they'll
whatever. And you'll
spend it
have,
on things they don't
yeah,
need.
and you'll have babies being sold, and it's going to be, society's going to get ugly fast.
Yeah.
So you have to give them in kind compensation. You're going to have to give them food. You're going to have to serve them meals. You're going to have to serve meals for the poor. You're going to have to provide shelter for the poor. Okay, you're going
Yeah.
to have to provide pod people. Basically, you're going to have to provide government pods. You're going to have to provide shelters for people to sleep in, and you're going to have to provide food. And I think you're probably going to have to provide some basic, some rudimentary medical care
Yes.
for them. You're going to have to provide those basics for people, and you cannot provide them in the form of money. And you should look askance at any politician who says, "No, I'll provide it in the form of money," because that's a guy who is just trying to buy your vote.
Did you see the debate last week when Andrew Yang was like, go to andrewyang.com and enter to win, where I'm gonna give like $120,000 to, like, how many families was it?
Yes, yes, it made me sick.
It was like, dude, that can't be legal.
Well, I don't know if it's legal or not. I know it was evil,
And
and
it's so like it
it's
was so blatant. It was
he
so blatant.
he's an idea machine, and many of his ideas are horrible, like that one.
Yeah.
But some of his ideas have an element of good in them. And one of them is providing for all the people who are going to be made unemployable either by automation or by the fact that their jobs simply disappear. I mean, it's like the buggy whip makers, you know, uh,
Yeah.
when the at the age of the automobile, you know, there was no demand for buggy whips.
Watchmakers.
Yeah, watchmakers is that's another. That was a highly skilled. That was something that took years and years and years to master to become a watchmaker. Those skills are largely lost.
Yeah.
There's some craftsmen in Germany and Switzerland, and I understand in Japan, who can still make the old mainspring type
Mm.
watches. But
They're few and far between, though.
they're they're numbered in the hundreds,
Yeah.
in the hundreds, and it's there's some woodworking skills that have been completely lost. They're absolutely gone. There's some uh, woodworking stuff that would have to be rediscovered how to do that is just not known anymore because there's just no call for it.
I would put it to you today that any violin that is factory made
Yeah.
sounds and is worse made than any
And
violin crafted by hand
oh,
back
absolutely.
in back in the 1718.
Anything crafted by Stradivarius or Guarneri is going to be a better violin than anything made today, even with all the things we can do with amplification and so forth. We can make those sounds, but you can't make that natural sound that
No.
comes out of uh, a violin. I, I've had the opportunity to um, the the pianist who my parents adopted at the Van Cliburn competition. He calls himself my brother, and
Mm.
calls my parents his American parents. And he's I mean, when he comes to America, he stays with my father in
Okay.
San Antonio, and his name is Alexander Matuskin. He's a professor at the uh, conservatory at the Manhattan Conservatory in New
Very
York
cool.
City. Yeah, he's one of the top pianists in the world. He married one of the top violinists in the world, and
Oh,
I've
wow.
gotten to hear her play. In fact, I've gotten to jam with them. Me on the guitar,
Nice.
them on the piano and violin, and of course they outclass me, and they're very patient with me. But it's miraculous fun to do. And they anyway, she plays uh, a I think it's a 17th century Italian violin. It shames me that I can't remember the maker. It's not a Guarneri, but it's that class of violin.
Right.
And to hear her play it, it brings tears to your eyes. It's so beautiful, and you can hear how different a violin it is than anything else. And when she comes to the United States, she's French by
Mm.
birth, and in fact, they just got married over in France,
Okay.
and they live in New York now. But when she brought it over to the United States, she held it in her lap on the plane.
I don't doubt. I don't filter at all.
Yeah, but it was just brilliant to hear. Just
Prospero says there's a Romanian hand making violins. So their craft isn't completely dead, just wounded.
yeah, no, yeah.
And Pincalo says, God damn it, I hate Toronto.
No, there are a lot of uh, there are a lot of handmade musical instruments, a lot of handmade guitars, a lot of handmade violins. And, but anyway, how I do go on.
Well, we have got 10 minutes, guys. Does chat have anything they wish to ask or
Yeah, we've been shamefully ignoring chat. What's up, chat? Talk to us.
poor Pincalo's stuck in Toronto? He's got like I think 5 different runs to make in and around Toronto today.
I would be interested to know what Prospero thinks will happen if Benny Gantz wins uh, the the election in Israel. See if she thinks it's going to be disaster or not. But
Goat,
perhaps
Mr.
perhaps
Goat.
we'll get her opinion tonight when we all celebrate the knowing what happened in the Israeli election
Yes.
on the Minion stream, which I hope you're going to be on,
Yeah,
right?
I shall.
And Prospero will be there, of course. And I um, let's see, Sanguine is going to be on
Oh,
tonight,
cool.
and we may have another unusual person on. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know how that's going to shake out. It just depends on who is saying yes and who is saying no. So I've got some hooks in the water.
Mr. Goatman says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember from somewhere that some instruments sound better the older they get.
Yeah, here's kind of what happens. Typically, uh, they sound better for a while, and then they get too dry, and uh, you have to treat them and do things to them to get the old sound back.
Yeah.
So they kind of accelerate to a really great sound, and then they start to decline a little bit, and you have to take care of them.
If you maintain an instrument like a nice piano,
God,
if you can keep a piano for many years.
Yes. Prospero says, Satan, after all, it is stream 029A. Shout out any of you who are computer programmers, hexadecimal 029A. Go to your hexadecimal calculators and type in 29A and let me know what you find out the decimal is.
That's funny.
The first 2 digits are 6 and 6. Oh, that's funny.
Soundboards go on pianos, sadly. Yes.
That is sad. That is sad. The thing about pianos is the thing that makes pianos beautiful is how good the harp is.
Yeah.
People think, well, it's how good the wood. No, not really. I mean, it has to do with the wood. The wood has to be good, yes, of course. But you can replace the wood. you can the heart and soul of a piano is the harp,
Yes.
and you can take and you can cannibalize the harp and keys out of a piano, put it in a new, they call it the cabinet.
Yeah.
Piano makers call it the cabinet, and uh, wrap new wood around it, and you have a brand new, great sounding piano. But if something happens, if there's a deformity to that harp, it it's gone.
Yeah.
Melt it down. Melt it for scrap. It's crap.
Once the harp's
Will
gone.
never tune. It will never
Yeah.
stay in tune. It will never sound right. So there you go. My I have uh, I'm the son of a serious classical pianist, and I have sat beside very many patient piano tuners. We had two grand pianos in my living room when I was growing up.
I'm jealous of
Not
you.
one, but two. One was a Yamaha full size concert grand, and the other one was a Steinway baby grand.
I am jealous. I love the way grand pianos sound,
Yeah, they have a big sound.
especially when they're open.
Oh yeah, yeah. Open the cabinet. It's beautiful.
I used to get so excited when I would do recitals, and I'd be like, "Is the piano open?" And they'd be like, "Yep." I'd be like, "Yes."
A huge sound coming out, and that's where the quality. That's where the quality of the top wood comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that sound coming off of that just makes all the difference in the world. And you can tell a crap piano. It sounds all plinky blink.
I love the piano that my mom has in her living room. We've had it since I was about 4,
Yeah.
and it holds its tune really well. It's about 100-year-old piano. It was made in 1910, I believe.
Hmm.
It's it holds its tune really well still. My sister apparently still plays on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. But I told mom, eventually I want that back.
Yeah.
I want that piano back eventually.
Sure. You should. Prospero said I've had part of mine restrung. Bass strings have warped. Yeah, they stretch and the bass strings are especially bad about that.
Mm.
It's about 110, 120. I have to believe that it's been restrung. At least the big thick cable strings down uh, below uh, in the bass strings. The wound strings have been restrung more than once.
Yeah.
They'll be pretty. You know, I mean, they just if it's been played at all. But that's cool. Interesting.
Pianos are fun.
Pianos they're amazing. Uh, it's interesting. You can my mom was to me she was an amazing pianist. She'd sit there and play Debussy and Rachmaninoff with seeming ease, and
Mm.
she'd say, "No, I'm not getting that passage quite right," and she'd say, I'm simply not good enough to get to that next level. I'm just not concert quality. I'm teaching quality," and she devoted herself to pedagogy as a result. She said it's like being an athlete, and she said just it's like being AAA ball.
Yeah.
I'm not major league, and she said I tried, uh, but
See, if I hadn't gotten so depressed
yeah,
and had my mom not push me so hard, I probably would have stuck with piano.
really.
But
How long did you take it?
let's see, I was 7 when I started, and I stopped when I was 14.
What kind of things were you playing by the time you were 14?
I was playing, but I got to grade 8 piano, so I was playing sonatinas by like Felix Kulau and uh, Clementi and some of Beethoven's more basic
You're playing that
things.
all from memory.
Yeah. I had to. There were a few that like we balanced it out. My piano teacher would give me some on tape and some she would say, okay, you need to learn this one by music braille and you can learn this one by sound.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
But eventually it would be, okay, play me this one.
Yeah.
Okay, now play me this one. And I was going to learn Feuerlies by Beethoven, but I just that was the one last thing that was keeping me there. Was she was like, if you learn these pieces, I'll teach you that one. But I was just like, I couldn't get the motivation up anymore to practice. I wasn't finding joy in it anymore. And my piano teacher actually had to pull my mom in and go, listen, stop forcing this. She's done. She's
Really?
done. If you want her to have any love for music left,
Don't burn her soul out.
yeah.
Yeah.
She goes, if you ever want her to pick up an instrument again,
Yeah.
just let her stop.
Yeah.
And she's like, and this is a lot of money that you're spending. Why are you like, I know, she's like, I know that she's talented and that she like it's sad to see her stop, but don't force her and don't throw your money away right now. That's basically what you're doing. Because I would go to my lessons and I would just sit there and cry.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was hard. But I think now that I would like, now that I've got kids, I would like to start, I would like to start playing the piano again. I would like to.
You need to introduce those kids to music.
Yeah. Alex and I, Lexi, my sister, brought over, she had a little child's guitar that we got her for Christmas. Because I had a guitar and she wanted to play the guitar like her sister. So she just gave that to Alex. So Alex and I've been teaching Alex about the notes and the different strings. And
is it an actual guitar?
It's just a tiny little acoustic.
When you say a tiny little acoustic, does it have a shortened fingerboard?
Yeah, it's got a tiny little neck. It's like that long. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I was watching you on the public page. I see. Oh, you're gonna show it to me. Cool.
Like this. It's a tiny little guitar.
That's too much guitar for him, though. Right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to get him a ukulele. If you really want to interest him, take it from a guy who has been teaching kids guitar for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Get him a ukulele. You'll see if he's got a real interest in it very quickly. The kids who can't put the ukulele down, who keep making notes, keep changing the notes and figuring it out, those are the kids who are going to be guitar players.
Okay.
And although a guitar that size, sometimes you can do it with a guitar that size. Just tell them to only worry about one string. That's what I do. Is I just say, don't worry about any of the other strings. Just worry about this one, the high E string, Just play with that string only. Just make notes on that string. Make pretty notes on that string, and show them how difference between a half tone and a tone, and let them go to town. Let them experiment. You know, let it be a toy, and let them have fun. Let them have an association of fun with it. It's anyway. That's just sorry. I didn't mean to turn that into a lecture. It's just that's my philosophy on teaching. There's a lot of ways to skin that cat.
That's a good way. And we've reached the end of the stream, guys. We've hit the 90-minute mark. And if you want more of this, but with Skep Talk in the host seat and me not, please come by the Minions of the Zoo channel tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. And we will have some more fun of this sort.
On the Minions of the Zoo channel. Please come by.
Yes.
We'd love to have you.
Tomorrow we'll all be back to...
Prospero will be there too, by the way.
Yes, she will. It will be awesome. Tomorrow I'll be back to CoffeeStream at 12. I'm still looking for a guest for Friday. So if anybody, feels like it, hit me up, let me know. Next week is call-in day because it's the last Friday of the month. And it has been confirmed that October 4th, Cynical Lindsay will be joining me. So that's going to be a fun stream. So please come by tomorrow at noon Eastern for another coffee stream, and I'll see you guys tonight on Minions of the Zoo. Thank you to Skep Talk for joining me, and I hope everybody enjoyed the stream today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.